So am I gonna rant about a show made for children as the first video on this channel? Yeah, I am. And little disclaimer, I absolutely adore Miraculous, and I'd be lying if I didn't say I get overly excited every time a new episode comes out. I just have a few issues that make me genuinely angry every time I see them. So I will be talking about them for no reason here. Alright, so Miraculous is a show about two teenagers who save Paris from Hawkmoth every goddamn day. And the show is mostly driven on romance, which is great because I really like romance and all that crap. But there's a few issues in the show that just really make me want to cry. So I'll be talking about them. So the first one, I just have two main ones. First one is the relationships in the show and how they handled them, and the next one is the continuity. So yeah. So you may be asking why I'm ranting about a show made for 7-year-olds and the writing on that, when it's really not that deep. But, I mean, I would be saying the same thing, but it just seems like the creators, specifically Thomas Astruc, really doesn't treat the show as if it is a show made for 7-year-olds with no depth. Seems like they really care about the show, the characters, and they present it as something that's made for older audiences. So I'm going to be ranting about it because I believe the show can be better, personally. So to start off, relationships. One of the reasons why I think Lady Noir is the best ship on the show is because they have a strong, established relationship. They're best friends who would trust each other with anything, and best friends who would risk their lives for each other if necessary. And yeah, I love Lady Noir. I think they did great. They do great with Lady Noir for the most part. So a ship that I'd like to love more than I already do is Adrienette. Adrienette at first was awkward. Marinette could hardly speak to him without stuttering, and he didn't show much interest in her than being a friend. So now we're in season 3. Has anything changed? Well, yes, but actually no. In Mayor, Marinette makes a bold move and kisses Adrien on the cheek after Adrien makes a cool speech about how great Marinette is. I was like, yay, they have an established friendship. Chameleon shows Marinette casually talking to Adrien as a friend, and he does the same, and also optionally sits by Marinette at the end of the episode. I'm like, yay, established friendship. Whereas Chat Noir goes out of his way to save Marinette, and in the end he tells her that he'd like to start a friendship with her because she seems like a genuinely cool person. I'm like, yay, established friendship. Adrien is actually showing some kind of interest in Marinette, unlike how he acted around her in the first season. And then Any Maestro airs, and Any Maestro makes me angry for multiple reasons, which I will not cover in this video, maybe a little bit, but it just makes me genuinely angry because, for one reason, they act the same around each other like how they did in season 1. Marinette's awkward around him. She's freaking out over getting a macaroon to him, whereas she kissed him on the cheek. This shouldn't be an issue. It just doesn't make any sense. And he acts awkward around her too.
Oh, Marinette's being weird again. And, oh, she just has seats to this premiere. I guess I'll go with it.
I wish they just let Adrienette be friends and move on. Adrien is wholesome. Mary Chad is a cute friendship. I have no problem with those. They're both great. I think Adrienette has a lot more potential. And it's like the fandom's favorite ship. I think they should do more with it, personally. Next one I'll be covering is, well, it's the same as relationship, but it's more of a personal problem that I don't think anyone cares about, but I just wish that Marinette and Kagami had a genuine relationship other than Kagami being Marinette's rival, even though Lila exists, and she proposes a real threat to Marinette. Kagami is not a real threat. Adrien shows no interest in Kagami. He even tells her, hey, I'm not interested in you, I'm still interested in someone else, because he's in love with Ladybug. And she's just like, cool, give me a call if you'd like to date. Other than that, I don't care. She doesn't propose any kind of threat to Marinette. They're just friends, Adrienette and Kagami. I mean, Adrien. They could really do something if they made Lila the main rival and made her manipulate Adrien in some kind of way, since she's pretty capable of doing that. Lila is a manipulative bitch, and she's kind of scary. She proposes an actual threat to Marinette, not freaking Kagami. Kagami even gives Marinette advice and froze her. She could be a genuine friend to Marinette. She just has a bit of an edge towards literally everyone. She's not a real threat. Alright, continuity. My main problem with this show. I don't mind the repetition in the show at all. That's not the problem. As long as the episodes somewhat affect the next one, I'm good with it. But a lot of the episodes currently are filler and just include some fan service just to take your mind off of that. Some of my favorite episodes aren't filler, obviously, and actually show development in some kind of way, shape, or form. My biggest problem with this is literally Chloe's character. Chloe had 3 episodes, whole ass episodes, made for her development, that trilogy. And I love those episodes. They're one of my favorites. Because I'm a genuine fan of Chloe's character, and I think she deserves a redemption. So when she had that, and they explained why she's the way she is, because she wants her mother's acceptance, because her mother treats her like garbage, why, it actually bothers her that no one likes her. She's a genuine person with a heart of gold. She just needs some improvement. And I really liked that. And then Stormy Weather 2 comes out, and she's a bitch again. She's extremely mean to Aurora, and that ends up turning her into Stormy Weather. And Chloe doesn't care for some reason, because her development is just apparently gone, and she's a horrible person again for some reason. I don't know why they would do that. They could propose another threat that would make Aurora get akumatized in some way. I don't understand why it had to be Chloe after the 3 whole ass episodes that let her develop. Now, Chloe will always be sassy, she'll always be kind of mean, but she won't be a genuinely terrible bully towards everyone. That was what her development was. An episode that I thought was fantastic was Silencer, the newest episode. And that's not just because I love Luca Kofane, he's like my favorite character, but it's because they established a real relationship between Luca and Marinette, finally. And, they may start dating in future episodes, and that would cause a huge change in how the love square works. But I unfortunately think that they'll completely forget the episode ever happened, and they'll go back to Marinette being awkward around Adrienne, and her on the low-key flirting with Chat Noir. It'll just be like that never happened, even though she shows total signs of her liking Luca back. She likes him back, that's a fact. And I'd just like them to go somewhere with the relationship. Now, I don't think Luca and Nette's going to be endgame, obviously, but I think it'll provide some good conflict for the next few episodes when they're dating. But one thing that actually gives me hope is Oblivio, and I loved Oblivio, but one thing I noticed was that Marinette was getting pissed off over Chat Noir saying romantically suggestive things to her. She was like, "Stop calling us a couple," in an angry tone. And she doesn't usually get pissed about about shit like that anymore. So it's weird, and it makes me think that the events that took place in Silencer actually happened before Oblivio took place, and now she's dating Luca, and that's why she's like, "Stop hitting on me, I have a boyfriend." So that'd be cool. And the reasoning for why Silencer aired after Oblivio, I don't know, but Miraculous is pretty known for having a shitty schedule. So that actually could be what's going on here. We'll just have to wait for the next episode. I've been pretty negative this entire video, so I'll give an example of something that I think was done pretty well, which is the entire episode of Glaciator, which is my favorite episode in all of Miraculous. But anyway, it actually shows Ladybug's development with Chat Noir, and it continues throughout the episodes up until Oblivio, which is why I think Luca might be part of that. But it actually changes her perspective on Chat Noir, because before that she thinks that Chat Noir is just some guy who hits on every girl and that she's just one of those girls. His feelings for her are meaningless until he shows his sensitive side, and she's like, wow, he's actually not the guy I thought he was. And you can actually see evidence throughout the episodes, because now whenever Chat Noir says romantically suggestive things to her, she's flattered usually, or she smiles or something like that. She's never offended or angry because I don't like you. She even gets pissed off in Weredad when she finds out that Chat Noir supposedly confessed his love to Marinette, and she's like, I thought you loved Ladybug. Was your love actually ingenuine? what the hell? And then once she finds out that he's actually still in love with Ladybug and that he was lying, she's completely relieved and actually happy about it. It's a huge change. Another thing that I think is great about the show is just the characters themselves. They're so charming, and they have such charming characteristics that make you like them. No matter which character it is, you'll probably absolutely adore a character. I love Chat, I love Ladybug, I love Luca. They're all so amazing. They're so likable, and they're fun to watch, and it's just fun to see what they do in every episode. They have such strong personalities, especially Chat and Ladybug. They have extremely strong personalities. They also show flaws, which is something that I really like in characters when they actually are human. You know, for example, when Ladybug decides to just scream at Lila as Ladybug for lying instead of being the bigger person and just not saying anything, it shows that she has a temper and that she needs to control that temper and improve on that, or else she'll cause the akumatization of multiple people. Another example is Chat being pissed at Ladybug and Frozer for simply not reciprocating his feelings. He decides to be angry at Ladybug once the mission begins, and it affects the mission and puts Ladybug in danger. He then realizes that he was being an ass and apologizes. Not necessarily apologizes, but just owns up to his mistakes and is not an asshat anymore. But the characters are just so genuinely likable that you understand why they made those mistakes in the first place. And yeah, the characters most of them are really good, and so I'll give props to the Miraculous team for making such great characters. So yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Bye.